All right, so get ready because today we are going deep into survival
Yeah,
psychology.
you know those instincts that kick in when things get a little crazy?
Like really crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So to really get into this, let's imagine
Yeah,
you're in the jungle,
right.
just, walking along, and suddenly
Yeah.
you see a tiger right in front of you.
Yikes.
I mean, your heart's pounding. What do you even do in that moment?
Well, I think most people would probably experience that classic fight or flight response.
Right.
Your body's suddenly flooded with adrenaline,
Oh, yeah.
getting you ready to either fight.
I don't think I'd want to fight a tiger.
Probably not the best strategy in this case.
Yeah, I think I'd be
On
running.
my way. Exactly, yeah.
So, okay, let's say you manage to climb up a tree. You
Okay,
think, phew, I'm safe now.
out of reach.
Right, but then
Yeah.
you look up and there's a venomous snake
Oh, no.
right above you.
That's a bad situation.
You know what?
Well, this is where things get really interesting from a psychological perspective.
Okay, how so?
Because now your brain has to deal with, like, multiple threats at the same time.
Oh, I get
And that can lead to something called tunnel vision.
tunnel vision.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like when you're walking and looking at your phone and you bump into something.
Well, yeah, kind of similar.
Oh, okay.
But in this case, it's a much more primal response.
Got it.
Your brain is basically hyper-focused on the most immediate threat, which right now is that snake.
So you're so focused on the snake, you might miss other things going on around you.
Exactly. You're not seeing the whole picture.
This is getting intense.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's go back for a second.
Okay.
I remember that first decision to climb the tree.
Yeah.
That's actually a classic example of something called heuristics.
Heuristics, what's that?
It's like a mental shortcut our brain uses to make decisions really quickly.
Especially when you don't have time to think.
Yeah, exactly, like in emergencies.
So it's not like I'm up there consciously thinking, okay, should I climb this tree or maybe play dead?
Right, it's more automatic than that.
Makes sense.
In this case, the heuristic is probably something like trees equal safety from big predators.
Which, I mean, usually that's true.
Right, but as we're seeing, not always.
Okay, so now I've got this guy up a tree, tiger below, snake above.
What are you going to do?
What do you think he does?
Well, he's got to do something.
I guess so.
Maybe he jumps into the
Big
river.
river.
It's a long shot, but maybe that's his best option.
You're kidding, right? There's something in the river, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention there's a crocodile.
A crocodile. This guy can't catch a break.
I know, right? But this really highlights,
What?
how unpredictable nature can be
Yeah.
and how survival is often about managing a lot of different risks all at once.
But wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Why jump into a river with a crocodile? Why not just stay in the tree and try to deal with the snake?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
He's desperate, right?
Yeah.
Any chance of survival, even a small one, might seem like the best choice.
I guess so.
Plus, he might have some idea, maybe he's heard, that deep water can sometimes scare off predators.
Maybe.
Or maybe he's seen too many movies.
You know, where the hero jumps in the river and escapes?
Uh-huh, exactly.
Okay, but the point is, he's making these decisions under immense pressure.
Right.
It's not about making the right choice. It's about just surviving.
That's what it comes down to, yeah.
And this brings up another thing.
What's that?
This guy's resilience.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he's facing tigers, snakes, crocodiles.
And he's still going.
Exactly. He just keeps adapting and finding a way forward.
That's resilience in action.
And that's something we can all learn from, even if our lives aren't quite this dramatic.
Definitely, yeah.
So how do these, extreme survival instincts actually play out in our everyday lives?
That's what we'll get into next.
Okay, I'm ready for part 2.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've been talking about these crazy survival scenarios.
Yeah, like, who actually encounters a tiger and a snake and a crocodile all in one day, right?
Right, but the point is, even though most of us aren't, running from those things,
Yeah.
we still experience those same instincts.
Absolutely. Those same survival mechanisms are at play.
So how can we actually, use this stuff in our daily lives?
Well, think about it. We all face stressful situations.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Right. And those situations, even if they're not life or death,
Yeah.
they can trigger those same primal responses.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay, let's take work deadlines.
Oh, those are the worst.
Right. So you've got a ton of work to do. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, I can feel the stress already just thinking about it.
And that feeling, that's your body going into that fight or flight mode.
So it's like my brain is telling me I'm facing a tiger, even though it's just a spreadsheet.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
just like panicking in front of a real tiger wouldn't be very hopeful.
No, probably not.
Letting that stress take over completely isn't going to help you get your work done either.
So what should we do instead? Like, how do we stay calm when we feel that panic coming on?
Well, one thing to remember is knowledge is power.
Okay, how does that apply here?
Remember how we talked about our jungle adventurer maybe using his knowledge of crocodiles?
Oh, yeah, to decide whether to jump in the river?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
in the same way, when you're facing a challenging task,
Yeah.
don't just jump into it blindly.
Okay, so like do your research, make a plan.
Exactly. Gather information, understand the requirements, break down the task into smaller steps.
So it's like instead of seeing the whole mountain, you're focusing on climbing one rock at a time.
I like that analogy.
It's less overwhelming that way.
Right. And it gives you a sense of control, which can help manage that fear response.
That makes sense.
And speaking of control, another key skill is adaptability.
Oh, yeah, because things rarely go exactly according to plan, right?
Right. And in those moments, it's important to be able to adjust on the fly.
Like our jungle adventurer, he had to be pretty adaptable to survive.
He had to think on his feet, change his strategy as new challenges came up.
Okay, so how do we apply that to, let's say, a work project that's suddenly gone off the rails?
Well, first, don't panic.
Easy for you to say.
I know, but seriously, take a step back,
Mm-hmm.
assess the situation,
Okay.
and then, instead of getting stuck in that tunnel vision, look for alternative solutions.
So be open to new ideas, new approaches.
Exactly. Maybe you need to delegate tasks differently, tap into a different skill set, or even completely rethink your approach.
It's like being willing to climb a different tree if the first one has a snake in it.
I like that, yeah.
So we've got knowledge, we've got adaptability. What else is important for this whole survival thing?
Well, something that often gets overlooked is reflection.
Reflection.
Yeah, taking the time to think about your experiences, both the good and the bad.
I can see how that'd be important for, like, our jungle guy.
Right. After all that, I bet he'd spend some time thinking about what happened, what worked, what didn't.
Yeah, so he could learn from it and not make the same mistakes again.
Exactly. And the same applies to us.
Okay, so if I totally bomb a presentation at work,
Yeah.
instead of just feeling bad about it, I should take some time to think about what went wrong, how I could do it better next time.
Exactly. Analyze your performance, identify areas for improvement, and maybe even get feedback from others.
So it's like turning a failure into a learning opportunity.
Precisely. And that process of reflection, that's what helps us build resilience.
Because we're essentially turning our mistakes into tools for growth.
Exactly. It's like building up an arsenal of knowledge and strategies for the next challenge.
Okay, this is all making me think about those moments when things don't go my way.
Yeah.
And how instead of getting discouraged, I could actually use those moments to become stronger.
That's the key takeaway here.
And it's a pretty empowering way to look at things, I must say.
It is, and it really highlights the incredible adaptability of the human mind.
It's like we have this inner superpower that we can tap into.
And the more we understand it, the better we can use it to navigate the ups and downs of life.
This has been like a total mind shift for me.
I'm glad to hear that.
So before we move on, I'm curious, how do we avoid overthinking things?
That's a good question.
I mean, there's a difference between healthy reflection
Yeah,
and just getting bogged down in analyzing every little thing, right?
absolutely. It's about finding a balance.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, focus on those key moments where you felt challenged,
Okay.
where you had to make tough choices, where you had to really tap into those survival instincts.
So those are the experiences that have the most valuable lessons to teach us.
Exactly. And by reflecting on those moments, we can hone our skills, build our confidence, and become even more resilient in the face of future challenges.
This is making me feel a lot more capable, I have to say.
That's the goal.
So it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
Exactly. And that's what we'll explore further in the next part of our deep dives.
Okay, I'm ready for more. It's funny, we started with this like crazy jungle story,
Yeah, with the tiger and the snake and the crocodile.
and it's turned into this really deep exploration of,
Of what it means to be human, I guess.
yeah, like how we deal with pressure and stress and all that.
It's like even in those extreme situations,
Yeah.
we see these fundamental things about ourselves.
Right. And the thing that keeps coming up for me is resilience.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, it's not just about, surviving those crazy scenarios.
Right. It's about like bouncing back from anything life throws at you.
Exactly. And how do we, like, actually cultivate that?
Well, I think a big part of it is recognizing that these skills we've been talking about,
Like adaptability and resourcefulness.
yeah, all of those, they're not just about reacting to threats.
So it's not just about like putting out fires all the time.
Exactly. It's about like taking those skills
Yeah.
and using them to build something.
So it's like we're taking those survival instincts
Right.
and applying them to our goals, our relationships, our whole lives.
Yeah, exactly. It's about being proactive, seeking out knowledge, being open to new experiences.
So it's like that same instinct that helps you survive in the jungle
Yeah.
can help you thrive in, well, anywhere.
Exactly. Think about it. Staying calm under pressure.
Oh, that's huge.
That's important whether you're facing a deadline at work
Right.
or dealing with a family crisis or, anything, really.
And being adaptable.
Yeah, being able to adjust to change.
That's essential for pretty much everything.
It is, yeah.
And then there's that whole thing about knowledge being power.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the more you know,
Yeah.
the better decisions you can make.
About your health, your finances, your relationships, everything.
So this is all making me think about what it really means to be a survivor.
Yeah, it's not just about like gritting your teeth and getting through it.
Right. It's about using those challenges to actually grow.
To become stronger, wiser, more capable.
And I think one of the most important things to remember
What's that?
is that it's okay to struggle, to make mistakes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like that's part of the
It
process.
is. It's how we learn.
So next time you're facing something really tough,
Yeah.
remember that guy in the jungle?
With the tiger and the snake and the crocodile.
Haha. Yeah, remember how he kept going, kept adapting?
And remember that you have those same qualities within you.
That's a really powerful thought.
It is, yeah.
So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
we've been talking about survival psychology.
And how it applies to all of us every day.
We've learned that we all have these incredible instincts,
These mechanisms for resilience and growth.
and that by understanding them, we can actually use them to our advantage.
To not just survive, but to thrive, no matter what challenges we face.
So remember, stay curious, stay open to learning.
And never underestimate your own strength and potential.
That's a great note to end on.
I think so, yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, stay adventurous, stay resilient, and keep exploring.